Oh. You're going to now?
See me like during break. All right, guys. We are going to be getting started here. I just want to give you a sec to kind of settle in. You will notice that grades were updated for this class. I was here yesterday. Yesterday, updating all of that. So you have your notebook check for assignments 1 through 10. I think it's up to cell system modeling. So we didn't include all the assignments. It's just up to the system model one. You also saw your quiz scores, which I know some folks did great, some folks did not. And that is just feedback for you on like what to improve for next one. Okay. Overall, everyone is doing pretty good. There are a couple of you I am worried about because honestly, the notebook grades should be perfect. There's no reason why you shouldn't have like an A or B on your notebooks. Because if you're here and you're doing all the work and taking the notes and you're finishing the labs and activities, that's a huge part of your grade. Okay. And when the test comes, which it's going to be coming in like maybe about a week and a half, that test is going to be worth a lot. And it's your notebook grade that is going to balance out with them. So it is your job, your responsibility to keep your notebooks up to date, making sure you're completing everything. Okay. I want to remind you that in high school, if you do not pass this class, you're going to have to retake it next year. So you get to be a freshman while everyone in your class is going to move on to chemistry. You're going to be stuck with next year's freshman in a bio class. That really sucks. It's not what I wish on anybody. Okay, so you need to if you have a D or an F in the class right now, and if you don't know what your grade is, you need to be checking Canvas. But progress reports are going out. If you have a D and an F in any class, that is not a good sign. It's not how you want to be starting out your high school. Okay, the vast majority of you guys are doing great. I'm going to encourage you to keep doing that. Today, Mr. Phelan is going to be teaching. He's been working hard on a lesson, so please give him your undivided attention. I will just be at the back, and if needed, I'll jump in and we'll kind of tag team this. But if you can give him your undivided attention, and also have your notebooks out and ready to go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Have your notebooks out. Because I'm going to teach you some new stuff, but first we're going to review some of the stuff we've already done so we can kind of tie things together. That's the great thing about biology. Is challenging because you can go off in all different directions, but also all of these concepts, you'll keep seeing them over and over, and over time we'll tie them together. So one we just did, right? What was it? Assignment 10, mitosis? Is it 10? Okay, off the top of their head, who could tell me all of the different steps in mitosis? Probably nobody, right? Nobody? I couldn't remember them all myself, and I've been doing this kind of stuff for years, but I will teach you a trick. And if you learn this, you will remember all of the steps of mitosis. Victor. You remember all the steps of mitosis for the rest of your life, no problem. Easy peasy, you won't have to study. And that's this. IPMAT, IPMAT. You guys say IPMAT? IPMAT. Just say it a few times. IPMAT. You're gonna remember. Okay, so you want to remember the mitosis, what they are. Anybody remember I? See? But you will. When you get this down, you will remember it. Anybody want to take a chance at I? Interphase. That's right. It's just a regular cell while it's going about its business, okay, between dividing stages, okay? And then P. Prophase. Yes. Prophase. M. Metaphase. And A is a cool one. I like A. Anaphase. And then T. Telophase or telophase, right? That's it. IPMAT. 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 Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. You remember IPMAT, you're going to remember all the ones, and you're done. You don't have to study for this anymore. That's it. IPMAT. Okay? You're going to learn a lot of these things when you go to college. or in later years, like in later things like in AP Bio, if you take that, or other courses. It's just these little tricks you can use to learn something. And it just makes life so much easier. So that's why I want you guys to learn. I'm trying to teach you that. Okay, so what is mitosis? What does it come down to? One sentence. Anybody? Not even a sentence. A phrase, Nicole?
Duplication.
It's duplication, right? One cell becomes two cells, right? You got one cell, it divides, and now you have two cells. Okay? All right, so why would we need to have this in our body? Why do we need to have mitosis? It's two big reasons. Anybody know? One is just simple math. Think about it. What happens when you divide? You end up with how many more cells? Twice as many, right? So one reason to do it is to get bigger, more cells. So that's growth. That's biological term would be growth. And what's the other reason? Do we all our cells in the body, are they all the same? Do we have the same all through our whole body? No? What do we have? We have different cell types, right? We have different cell types, the cells are specialized. So the other reason that we have division or mitosis is so that cells can become specialized. Let's say one cell, remember you guys had the cheek swap? And you looked under the microscope at that? Those epithelial cells, right? They're kind of like this, epithelial cells. Okay, another type of cell would be muscle cells. They look totally different. They're like this. Why? Because they perform a completely different function in the cell, right? Muscle cells are long like this. Why? So they can contract and you can pull on your bones, okay? So that's the other reason, is specialization. Okay, and then I'm gonna kind of review with you another part that you guys did, the organization of life, how cells actually are organized in our body. Are cells just like randomly distributed like M&Ms in our body, like different colors all over the place? No, right? They're organized. All right, they are organized. They're organized into different structures. If you turn to your assignment 5, macromolecules, in your notebook, you guys remember you have a page with all your assignments listed, right? That looks like this. You should be able to go down, find assignment 5, which is macromolecules, and the page number should be there. You go to that page number. Oh, I'm bad. I'm missing mine. But if you look on there, what do you see across the top of that page? Do you guys all find it? Everybody have it? It's a blue sheet. You all able to find it? That's one way to know if your notebook is where it needs to be, is if you can find those assignments easily from that assignment sheet and go to it. All right, so across the top you have a bunch of boxes, right? It just kind of explains how cells are organized into an organism. It actually starts with macromolecules and then goes up. I think it actually works its way down, doesn't it? It starts with organism and then goes down to macromolecules. So you can go either direction with that. So if we look at organization, right, we have those macromolecules, but for the moment, we're just looking at the cells. And the macromolecules are used to make up cells. And then what do cells make up? Tissues, right? What is a tissue? Anybody? What kind of defines what a tissue is? Anybody know? Are they all kinds of different types of cells? Or is it kind of the same cell, like built up together? Kind of the same, right? So they're pretty much like the same cells. And then from tissue, what do we get? What's after tissue? Organs? That's right, organs. So organs is different types of tissues that are put together to make like a unit, right? So you got organs. Anybody have anything? Okay, actually turn to your partner and just come up with like different organs that you can think of, okay? And then we're gonna share those, all right? So, Haydar, you can share with Kyle there. Just turn to your partner and yeah, just share different organs. You guys run out yet? Sounds pretty good. How about anybody want to share some? Wow. I hear people already going to organ systems. Yeah. Stomach, right? So organs, we got stomach. What else? Heart. Who else? You want to do another one? Go. Lungs. Yep. I heard brain.
Victor has one.
Victor, what do you got, Victor? Victor, I need another one. Kidney, yes. I think you guys did this before, huh? Good stuff. Kidney. Okay. One more? Nicole? Thyroid. Ooh, that's a good one. Thyroid. Okay, cool. And then from there, after we have organs, they have their own organization, right? They go to the next level, which is organ systems. That's how things work together. Okay, so let's see. Now, organ system is a little harder. I mean, to come up with all the examples, but again, turn to your partner and then just try to come up with some different organ systems. Think about the organs and then what organ systems they might belong to. Okay, and some of them there's multiple answers actually. So, okay, go ahead and share with your partners for a minute. Okay. All right. This one's a little bit more challenging, right? Come up with them. Anybody have some they want to share? Organ system? Yes, Karen.
Circulatory system?
Circulatory system. Very nice. Okay, who else? System. Anybody? Victor? You don't got one? Okay. You have another one? Let's give someone else a chance. Justina.
Well, it's not really. I'm just asking. Are we supposed to be taking notes?
Oh, are you supposed to be taking notes? Well, if you think about it, you guys already have those notes, right, in your book? So you don't really have to take notes on that. This part, let's see. I am going to give you let's do it now. Maybe now's a good time to give you this. I'm going to give you this handout, and you can write down different organ systems around this on the top sheet. It kind of gives away what the topic is, but that's okay. That's an excellent question. So there's some space around that box at the top, and we can write down some organ systems around that. And then we're going to talk about how organ systems are involved in homeostasis. Okay? All right, so let's go. We have so you can write down circulatory system. We have another digestive system. Yes, excellent.
there, I would like recreate this worksheet so like put homeostasis in the middle, so that what you draw here looks like it's on the paper. Because you're
Like
gonna
this.
be,
Yeah.
because you're gonna be adding
Like
notes
this.
under each one, right?
How about like this?
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah, go around.
Yeah, so you just make it a little more like your board mirrors what they have on paper.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this so you know how to write on your paper. Homeostasis is that box here, and we're just gonna write around them, and then we're gonna add stuff under each one of these. What happened to my wipe? Oh. All right, so we got two. We got digestive system, that's a good one. We got the circulatory system. And then it starts getting a little bit harder, but I think you guys can still come up with something. Anybody? Aaron? Ooh. What? Reproductive system, yes. Okay, and anybody else? One or two more? Nicole?
Immune system.
Immune system, wow, that's excellent. Okay, how about, can we do one more? Anybody have another one? Should I do one? We got respiratory, we got digestive. How about you guys go to the gym? Girls too, everybody these days goes to the gym. What's that system we're working on?
I was gonna say neurological system.
Neurological system, yeah, there's a nervous system.
Yeah.
Yep. Nervous system, okay, we can do that one. That's definitely very important, obviously. Well, they're all important. If you don't have, if there are any missing, well, you're not gonna be here. Somebody else will be sitting in your seat. Okay. So we're gonna watch a little video about the organ systems. It's kind of cool video. I like it. Probably teaches even better than I do. And then we're gonna talk about how these different organ systems are involved in homeostasis, okay? If I find my mouse, there we go.
Have you ever thought about how incredible the human body is? For example, just to name a few things that your body's already been doing today, you're using your lungs to take breaths in and out, your heart's beating without stopping, and your brain is coordinating your body's functions and at the same time helping you understand this video. All these body parts are made up of cells, which, as you might remember, are the smallest units of life. And it's so amazing that trillions of cells, without thoughts or intentions of their own, can come together to form something as complex as the human body. To help us understand how this occurs, we have to understand how the body is organized. The human body has a hierarchical organization, meaning it's made up of nested layers, each one more complex than the last. In this case, 4 different layers make up this hierarchy. Cells, which make up tissues, tissues which make up organs, organs which make up organ systems, and finally, organ systems which help the human body function as a whole. So let's start with cells and tissues. Cells are the smallest unit of life and the most basic level of organization in the human body. In the human body, not all cells look or work the same. Instead, they're specialized to carry out different functions. After cells, the next level of organization is tissues. A tissue is a collection of similar, specialized cells. And all of the cells that make up a tissue are like a team. They work together to ensure the tissue works properly. For instance, this image shows a section of the type of epithelial tissue that lines the inside of your mouth. This particular tissue is made up of epithelial cells, which are specialized to help protect your mouth from wear and tear. So the next time you're eating a pointy tortilla chip, remember how important this epithelial tissue is. Next up are organs and organ systems. So organs are structures that are made up of multiple different types of tissues, which all work together to help the organ function. And an organ system is a group of organs that work together to carry out complex functions for the body. For instance, the lungs, shown here in the diagram, are made up of several tissue types that help them expand and contract. These tissue types include epithelial tissue, which is the same type of tissue we talked about earlier in the mouth, and connective tissue. And these tissues work together so that the lungs can carry out their role in the respiratory system, which is the organ system that allows us to respire or breathe. The respiratory system is made up of multiple organs, including the lungs, the trachea, the nose, and the diaphragm. When we breathe, our diaphragm, which is this muscle right here, contracts. Air is pulled through our nose and trachea and into our lungs. Here, gas exchange happens, and our bodies take in oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. Then, our diaphragm relaxes and we exhale. The respiratory system and other organ systems in the body carry out specific functions but work together to keep us alive. And they do this mostly without us even realizing it. So it might get a little tricky to remember how all 4 levels of...
All right. Okay, so that's a little review of how the organization, right? The hierarchy of organization. Now we're going to talk about how these organ systems function in the role of homeostasis. Okay, so see on your sheet there. Actually, remember back to, what is it? Assignment 4, is it alive? You guys remember that? You want to turn to that in your notebook? Find that. Assignment number 4. So that one has a list of all of the different things that are characteristics of life, right? I think it's a yellow sheet. We got a bunch of them. One of those is homeostasis. Okay? Does anybody want to read what they wrote down there for homeostasis? Hadar, do you have it in your book? You weren't here for that day? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. How about somebody who was here? All right. Gia, you want to read it for us? Thank you.
The homeostasis.
Yeah, homeostasis.
Organisms have mechanisms that help them maintain a stable internal environment despite changes to their external environment.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so the idea there, right, is that the cell or the human body needs to maintain certain parameters in a certain range, in a particular range, even though what's happening outside the cell or outside the body might change, right? So we have ways of regulating this. Okay, so in that sheet there, does anybody want to read what that one is there? That definition is there on the worksheet we got. Nicole?
An organism, homeostasis, an organism's ability to maintain a consistent internal environment despite changes to their external circumstances.
Yeah, so you guys see how that makes sense? The two definitions are so similar there. It's basically, so homeostasis comes from 2, I think they're Greek words. Homeo is like same, and then stasis is standing still. You heard of static or stasis, being in stasis. So it's same, still. The idea is keeping things in a certain range. And that's what all of these different organ systems function to do in your body. Just a sec here. Okay, so I want you guys to share with your partners for a little bit. What kind of things do you think that our cells or our body needs to do? What kind of parameters do we need to maintain homeostasis for? What things with our body or ourselves? Just share with your partner for a minute. All right, we have some ideas of things that we want to maintain homeostasis. Anybody want to share, Alex? You got something? No?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking? Okay. Skylar? No. Who's got something? Oh, all right, Justin. Temperature. Absolutely. That's a big one, right? Temperature. Another one? Now we're getting warmed up. Aaron?
Energy.
Energy? Yeah, energy's good. Any others? Nicole?
Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels, that's right. Absolutely. O2. Anything else? Think about the different organ systems we're working with. Say, Jim.
Nutrition.
Nutrition, yep. Food, energy, right? So food. Anything else? Anybody? Makai? Oh, Aaron. What do you got?
Water.
Water? Yep, water, absolutely. Yeah, these are all things we need to maintain certain levels of, right? Okay, so let's see. Temperature. What do you think? What do you think is involved in what organ system? What organ system is probably involved in regulating temperature? Anybody? Think about these. Is it the digestive system? Nicole?
The immune system.
Immune system? No. This is temperature of your body, right? Tricky, Karen?
Circulatory system.
Circulatory system does help. It's involved. The blood is involved in it. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we can include that. So temperature, right? Could be that one. There's another one too, though. Yes. Okay.
Maybe the nervous system.
Nervous system. Absolutely. The nervous system. We're going to see that there's certain parts of your brain that are involved in sensing your body temperature and making changes to that. Okay, so what other ones? How about oxygen? Who thinks there's a system involved in regulating oxygen?
Respiratory system.
Respiratory system, absolutely. Where did we put that one?
You didn't write it down.
I didn't write it down. Oopsie. Silly me. Respiratory system, right? Oxygen and also carbon dioxide too. One goes in, one goes out. How about food? What's involved with food? Digestive system, absolutely, right? The digestive system is involved in working with food. Water. Anybody? Gia? No? Water? Okay.
Digestive system.
Digestive system. Yep, that one's involved too. There's also like that. Oops. Like that. There's also another system, the excretory system, which is like your kidneys. Okay, and that's why water gets out of your system. Remember in that we did that system, the cell is a system and all those things, and we had water going out and going to the kidneys. So that's what water gets out of the system. So yeah, there's all kinds of different things that our cells, our bodies need to do to maintain homeostasis, and different systems are involved in doing that. And we're going to work on a worksheet where we're going to work through some of these guys. So one way to think about homeostasis is, remember systems? You guys did systems. When was that? Intro to systems was assignment 9. Remember? What's the characteristics of a system? Right? Remember you have kind of like a box, and then you have inputs and outputs, right? You have things going inputs, and then you have outputs of a system, right? So that's very similar to how homeostasis works. You have something which is externally, which is impacting the cell or the body, and then it has to make a change in order to accommodate that, to maintain at the right levels. Okay, so it's sort of like very similar to your systems. It's a type of system, for sure. And actually, if you look on that sheet there, a very important type of system for homeostasis is called a negative feedback system. This is written down there under part 2. So this is actually a really important way of how organisms can maintain homeostasis. Basically, another way to think of it is another term people use is called feedback inhibition. So I'm going to go over here and make some writing on this part. You guys remember IPMAT, right? IPMAT. I'm going to erase this. IPMAT. And now you can get into college. And you won't even have to study in college because you'll know it already. Okay, so the way negative feedback works is, it's like, you don't have to draw this in your book, I'll just show you. So you have your system, right? That could be a cell, or it could be the entire body, right? Your own body. Those are examples of systems. You have an input, and you have an output. Now, this is basically how what negative feedback is based on, except with a negative feedback system, the output, what do you think the output impacts? Negative feedback. You have an input, you have an output, and then that feeds back on the input. Okay? Break. Halfway. Okay, sounds good. You guys are lucky. Mr. Wang wants to give you a break. I don't think so, but
I want to give you a break.
I want to give me a break? Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, okay, so yeah, after we're gonna take a little break. How long? 5, 10? 5 minutes? Okay, 5-minute break, and then we're gonna go more into negative feedback loops and all of the different components, okay? So 5 minutes.